All right. All right. What we're going to talk a little bit about today, and I won't take much of your all's time. Like I said, I've kind of got a brief little PowerPoint here. Is moving forward with bill. And if anybody doesn't know what bill is the new bipartisan infrastructure law that is gone into place. And it's kind of through the federal government there. Basically, last year alone in our state, we had a total of 94 pedestrian fatalities, which was nearly 13% of the total fatalities for our state when it comes to highway safety. And to just kind of put that in perspective a little bit, we had a total of 15% of the fatalities last year involved alcohol related crashes alone. So pedestrian fatalities, unfortunately, are on the rise. We're seeing that not only in the state of Kentucky, but we're also seeing that in nationwide as well. The next screen you see here, this is our daily fatality report. This is kind of our new report that we've been putting out of our office. We've always been putting out our daily fatality summary, but our gentleman that's in our office now, Ed Harding, who was with us before and is back with our office now, does all of our traffic data. He put this dashboard together that is out there for anybody in the public to be able to go and see and actually to be able to pull information from. It is located on our highwaysafety.ky.gov webpage. It's a very interactive dashboard that you're able, and I'll kind of go into that dashboard here in just a second to kind of give you a brief, just little demo of it. But you're able to pull all kinds of information. We go back, it's on a 5-year span that we kind of go back there. And you're able to pull this different information, but it's an interactive dashboard, as I said. Unfortunately, right now, as you see there with that 355 on people, as of yesterday, July the 11th, we've had a total of 355 individuals that have been killed in highway safety related crashes. Now that is up 4 from that time last year, where it was 351 in 2022. On this dashboard, you can search not only fatalities, but you can also search for serious injuries when you pick the different parameters. Some of the numbers that kind of jump out on this for the unbelted fatalities, we're sitting right now at 50.59%. We usually average statewide in that 50% range. Unfortunately, for unbelted fatalities, that just means that we've got 50% of these crashes that are really avoidable. They can be prevented if the individuals, for some odd reason, they would have had their seatbelts on. The 35 to 44-year-old category represents about 18% of the total year-to-date fatalities. The 16 to 44 range represents about 46%, and vulnerable road users, which pedestrians, a bicyclist, motorcyclist, those all fall under that category. They're overrepresented at 50 fatalities, or about 14%. The next we have here, I'm going to see if this is going to let me go into this dashboard for you guys, so I can just kind of show you real quick what this will do. Let's see if this is going to work. All right, and this has actually been updated. Can you guys still see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, good. This has actually been updated with today's data with the fatality report. So I'm not sure if everybody that's in this room gets this report, but basically what it is, it gives us a data set of highway safety, of daily fatality summary of fatalities and serious injuries that occur in highway safety crashes across the state from the beginning of the year until generally the previous day's date. So as you can see right now, since the numbers have been updated this morning, we're sitting at 357 in total fatalities. This time last year was 353, so we're still 4 ahead there. What you're able to do on this dashboard when you go to it on our website, there's the severity level that's here at the top that you can either check fatality, you can select all, or you can switch it to serious injury. And what that will do is it will It'll the same categories that were for the fatality that was shown there, but it will bring you up the actual serious injuries. As you can see here, 1,456 individuals have been seriously injured in crashes this year. There's a kind of certificate here, or a kind of a big thing to look at here is the number of days without lives lost. Is showing 35, which is, we want to see that number obviously increase, where we're not having, the types of fatalities and things that we're seeing. But just some of the things, there's an overview, as you can see down here at the bottom. It just kind of clicks. If you wanted to look at what was alcohol involvement for serious injuries, you can click on that, and it kind of takes a second for it to load. It will give you that information, and it will then go down to the time range for you. It gives you, like I said, it goes kind of like 4 to 5 years back to 2019, and that obviously change as we go on to the next years. If you wanted to look at motorcycles, that information is pulled up there, and all of this is printable information too from the site. Same thing with fatalities. You can look up those same categories at the bottom. It's really, this fatality report has become more in depth than it used to be. It used to be just some basic information that was put out, but now with Ed Harding that we have in our office that does our traffic data, he's a guru at this stuff, and he can pull some things that I didn't know where he's been able to get the information from before, but he's able to really narrow this stuff down for us, and this helps us a lot, our office, when it comes time for our dealing with our strategic highway safety plan, and also with our highway safety plan that we have to do. This is the data that we use for that type of stuff. Let me see here if I can get back where we were. As you can see here, what bill, and as I referred to that earlier, is the bipartisan infrastructure law. The biggest thing that is the change with this from what's been in the past is the public involvement, public engagement. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, and also GHSA and Federal Highway Safety, they are all really are looking at the public involvement, is how to get the public involved in highway safety, and getting their opinions and their different perspective on things of how can we solve the problems with the fatalities that we're having, the serious injuries that we're having involving crashes. So you can see here where it's basically all the HSOs, or the highway safety offices. Kind of the big change that's coming along with this is then really the biggest change is the requirement for public participation and engagement. And basically it's just not doing a community event or just visiting a high school or a middle school, but it means getting the local communities and its citizens basically in the decision-making process. That's kind of a big thing that is being pushed right now. And it is actually a requirement for our applications that we have to send into the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration to let them know, what are we as a highway safety office, what are we going to do to get the public involved in this problem of highway safety fatalities and serious injuries? What can their input be on this to help us all come to a common goal and a common consensus of how can we solve these problems? So that's, like I said, that's a really big thing this year that Bill has brought along. Some other opportunities, just kind of some expanded grant opportunities that are coming along with the new bill. There's going to be automated enforcement, distracted driving awareness, post-crash care, traffic records projects, and also with our educational programs. Basically, with us as a highway safety office, our big thing is we have to stay the course with what we're doing now in our office, but also identify some things that we can do to better help us do our job, and us be able to pass along to the federal government to help them do their jobs better when it comes to highway safety. Just some of the funding sources that are identified are obviously from NHTSA, GHSA, FHWA, and also state funds. We want to engage all stakeholders and partners, which would be KSPAN, Vision Zero, which is a group out of Louisville, and also various other community groups. We're going to establish some more educational programs in the middle schools and also in the elementary schools. Our kind of within our office, our focus has been for years is we've kind of been hitting those drivers that have started driving, those 16-year-olds, with the majority, like I said, the majority of those are in high school and beyond, is really been concentrating on those drivers and then also the older drivers. But now we're seeing where we need to get to the younger folks. We need to get to them in the elementary age. We need to get to them in the middle school age and try to get their train of thought and their process of thinking about highway safety and thinking about the responsibility that they're going to have when they are driving a car at one day, and even now with the responsibility they have when if they walk to school, or if they ride their bike to school, or if they're just out in their their neighborhood, or out anywhere that they're riding and they're walking, to make sure that they're self-aware of what's going on around them, and to make sure that they keep themselves safe, and also to hopefully educate, get to the parents as well, to try to make them understand how important this is and how important it is for their kids and their future. Also, we're going to expand the digital footprint for vulnerable users, in which that includes social media platforms, getting out the messages of the safety of pedestrians and bicyclists and motorcyclists and things like that. Some of the resources that we have available, and you can find these resources on our website, is our Safe KY. It's the Strategic Highway Safety Plan for 2020 to 2024 that is already out there. And you can, if that's the link to it right there, but you can, like I said, you can find that out on our highwaysafety.ky.gov webpage. That information is out there. And basically that's all I have. Like I said, I apologize for Bill not being able to be here today. He is the executive director of the Office of Highway Safety, and not only just the education side and the grant side, but he also is he deals with incident management. So if anybody has any questions, anything that I can try to answer, if not, we can certainly, if you can contact either Bill or myself, we're both on the global, and we can certainly get any information that you need. If you have any questions about the dashboard, the daily fatality report, or any data things, like I said, we have Ed Harding that is in our office. That is our traffic safety data guru, and he's a wizard with finding this stuff. So does anybody have any questions? All right. Well, Steve, thank you, sir.